That's it? This is what they sent us? Who shot this crap? Bunch of cops standing around staring at each other. What else you got? Oh, great. Biggest murder story since LJ, and we're shooting other crews. That's good, that's good. Keep that. Got any audio on that? Boy, cops sure look like cops. Okay, what about the killer? You got anything on the killer? Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Little ragged, but keep that. Oh, that's nice. That's great. Back it up a bit. Okay, now, forward. Slowly. Look at that. Ah, you just missed it. Okay, slowly. Okay, freeze it there. Beautiful. Zoom in. Oh, man, Jeff, you're a genius. What else you got? She got an Emmy for that show? Okay, back to the arrest. And off she goes. What about the body? Beloved husband. What a way to go. Good. Happier days. What do you think? Go out on that?
You want irony or tragedy?
Tragedy, definitely. Have it ready for 11.
We went out when murder trial begins this week. Now, investigate.
Hey, you! Move it! Way too early to speculate on what the decision might be. Today is jury selection, which will begin to give us a sense of what that might be.
Man, they say this thing's gonna last about a month and a half. You know they ain't getting me in on that.
Yeah.
Say, you must have a fascinating life. You can afford to pass this one.
Well, that's my point. If they let this one off for shooting a guy just because he's getting a little something on the side, I'm gonna have to live in another country.
But if he found her with a man and shot her, that would be okay, right?
Well, you gotta look at what's involved, right?
What I'm trying to say is we shouldn't be talking about it.
Oh, yeah, you heard anybody who hasn't talked about this in the last month and a half?
I understand, but we might be selected for the jury.
I guess what you gotta ask yourself is what you'd do if your husband was running around.
I'd do what she did in a short minute. No, I'd like to anyway. You know, something stopped me. Hey, more power to her, though. I'll say that much. And what about you? Your husband ever cheat on you?
Never.
You know that?
Yes, I do.
What about you?
My husband's dead.
All right, take your seats.
This is what they sent you. Saw you on TV in that one. Looked good.
Look at this! Is my wife with another man?
Have I ever been with another woman? Look, I don't tell this stuff to my priest.
Excuse me, sir. You want to just fill in the form, please? Fill in the form.
Hey, I'm not filling this in. This stuff is personal.
Well, answer what you want and discuss the rest with the judge.
I'm going to talk to him, boy. Just this is between me and my wife, okay? You don't pay me enough for this kind of stuff.
We've got to take a long, hard look at women married over 10 years. All our surveys say that's where we're getting our best response.
Probably wishing they'd done it themselves.
I suspect that's precisely what we're tapping into. Something else. When we ask the same subjects to rate their marriages 1 to 10, at the extremes, we correlate very well with a positive attitude toward our client.
Well, which extremes? High or low?
Both. Very good marriages, very bad marriages. Interesting, huh?
Hey, Wayne, come on in. Just surveys. This young lady's come up with some very interesting demographics. Carry on.
Infidelity. It gives us some very tricky correlations that could cut either way. Obviously, the more we know about these people, the better.
As soon as we start getting some names from the jury pool, I want neighbors talked to, beauticians in beauty parlors, and teachers at their children's schools. If their husbands are running around, someone will know.
What about men on the jury?
The women jurors are going to give us the most options. So far, we haven't been able to isolate.
Any man that doesn't want to see me hanged?
Well, locked up for the rest of your life. But, yeah, that's the general picture.
Is it all right if I sit here?
Yeah, please sit down.
Thank you.
You know the thing that drives me crazy about jury duty? You get all these people, same room together. And the one thing they have in common, they can't talk about.
Why don't we just go around the table and introduce ourselves? My name's Fletcher. Fletcher Lowe.
I'm Naomi Budden.
Nolan James.
I'm Alice Bell.
Listen, what I was wondering about was, in the newspaper this morning, they said they might sequester us.
Well, I don't think they mean us. I think it means the jury once they're selected.
I heard it might be that place down on South Street.
Wait a second, a hotel?
I hope it's a good one.
If it's a problem for you, I'm sure you could talk to somebody.
Well, how long are we going to be here?
Well, all I know is, if I get to stay in a hotel, my wife's gonna kill me. I haven't taken her any place in 10 years.
When I call your name, please take your coats and all your belongings and proceed to the door. The officer there will take you to court. Winston Barnes, Alfred Chu, Naomi Budden, Alice Bell,
Look at them, but don't stare.
There's a fair likelihood when this trial commences that the jury will be sequestered. Our best estimate at this time is that the trial will take about a month. So I need a show of hands from those of you for whom this could prove to be an undue burden.
The evidence may show that the defendant's husband was having an affair. Would this affect your decision whether she was guilty or not guilty of murder? Mr. Weber?
No effect.
If a man cheats on his wife, do you think that justifies her killing him? Miss Budden?
No. No, I wouldn't.
Mrs. Bell, is marital fidelity important to you?
Yes, it is.
So that if a man cheated on his wife, something happened, you might say that he had it coming.
I wouldn't say so, no.
Juror number 8, college student, very timid, has trouble making up her mind, impressionable.
You're saying bump her.
Tough calls. She seems to take her cue from the woman in the 2-seat, who's an interesting case.
Alice Bell.
I don't give that much of a damn about interesting.
What I'm saying is if we get the one, we get the other.
No, she makes me nervous.
I like the way she looked at me. I trust her.
Here they come!
Have you been selected for the jury? Do you have a problem with that?
How many of you have watched Wynne Atwood's show on television? Did you form an opinion what she's like, Mrs. Carlucci?
I think she's terrific. I would consider it a privilege to serve on Wynne Atwood's jury.
Did you form an opinion, Ms. Vinograd?
No, not really.
Mr. Lowe?
Well, she seems kind of smart, I guess.
So you like her?
Well, I don't usually watch that kind of show, you know. Sometimes it just comes on.
You want to accept number 3?
Are you kidding? She kept looking at the defense table. I thought she was going to ask if she could take Atwood home with her.
What about number 7? Snapped off her answers. She seems solid.
She's great. Guaranteed they'll throw her off.
I'm not sure about the black guy, number 9.
Not kicking any men off this jury, Wayland.
Mr. James, have you read about this case?
Yeah. I know she killed him.
Well, that's all right. We're not contesting the fact that Mrs. Atwood shot her husband. In fact, it was Mrs. Atwood who called the police.
Your Honor, is he testifying?
Yes, ask a question, Mr. Franciscus.
And Mr. James, the circumstances under which the shooting occurred and the state of mind of Ms. Atwood at the time are essential elements in determining whether it's first-degree murder, second-degree murder, or manslaughter. Now, will you be able to follow the court's instructions on that?
I'll try.
But basically, you think murder is murder?
Pretty much, yeah.
So if the judge instructed
He's already
you...
said he would try to follow the court's instructions.
Your Honor.
Approach.
Guess I gave him something to think about, huh?
I don't see how the bias could be clearer, Your Honor.
He said he could follow the court's orders.
He knows how to answer the question, that's all that means.
Mr. Franciscus, nothing precludes a juror from having opinions as long as they're not fixed opinions.
Well, murder is murder. Sounds fixed to me.
Will you keep your voice down? He said he would follow the court's instructions.
Raise your right hand. Do you and each of you solemnly swear that you will well and truly try the cause now pending before this court and render a true and just verdict therein according to the evidence and instructions of the court, so help you God?
I do.
Let me tell you what this is and what this isn't. This is a murder trial, and we, the prosecution, have to prove to you that on May 18th, Wynne Atwood, the defendant sitting right over there, shot and killed Gregory Toland, the man to whom she was married for 10 years. The evidence will show that Wynne Atwood premeditated this murder. She made a plan, she went ahead with this plan, and she knew what she was doing.
But the law recognizes that even in the taking of a life, there are degrees to a crime. One of the sacred foundations of our system of justice is the principle that before we can decide what punishment an act deserves, we must attempt to learn what was in the mind of the person who committed that act.
You're going to hear testimony about Gregory Toland. about how little he cared for his marriage vows.
He dismantled her self-esteem. He cut her off from her family. He threatened, humiliated, and physically degraded her.
Gregory Toland isn't on trial here. Win Atwood is.
Gregory Toland pulled that trigger. He sowed and he reaped.
It's about murder. Premeditated, cold-blooded, first-degree murder.
And when you've all heard the evidence, I promise you, you will know beyond any doubt that Win Atwood cannot be convicted of murder.
In non-technical terms, it means a single bullet penetrated the cheekbone just below the left eye and entered the brain, where it produced massive and fatal damage.
Would death have been instantaneous?
Oh, instantaneous, yes.
And did the bullet that killed Gregory Toland come from this unregistered handgun that the police took from the defendant, State's Exhibit 11?
Yes, it did. She was standing with a uniformed officer. As she approached me when I entered the room, she said, "My name is Win Atwood. I shot my husband. He's right in there."
In there?
The bedroom. He was in the bed naked.
Dead?
Oh, yeah. Naked and dead.
Was there anyone else present in the apartment?
Well, besides the defendant, there was another white female. Her name was Jane Carlisle. This was her apartment.
What was she doing?
She was sitting on the sofa. She appeared to be crying.
Did the defendant appear to be crying?
Oh, ma'am, she appeared calm.
And would you say that you and the defendant were close friends?
We were very close friends.
So she confided in you?
Oh, yes.
Did she ever talk to you about her marriage?
All the time.
What did she tell you?
Objection,
That
hearsay.
he'd been having an affair for years.
Miss Donatello, when you hear an objection, don't answer the question until I've ruled. And this is hearsay, Miss Bosco.
I'm not offering this for the truth of it, just to show the defendant's state of mind.
All right. The witness's answer will stand, but the jury will not consider this statement in determining the truth of whether or not Mr. Toland was having an affair, but only in determining whether or not such a statement was made to the witness by the defendant.
When the defendant told you about her husband's infidelity...
Which time?
So she brought the subject up more than once?
Lots of times.
Did you ever offer her any advice at these times?
She didn't ask for it, but I gave it. I told her she should divorce him.
And what, if anything, was the defendant's response to this?
She said she wasn't going to let him and his bimbo girlfriend walk away with half her money.
I'm correct in stating that you consider yourself a friend of Win Atwood.
Yes, I do.
Does testifying against such a good friend bother you at all?
I didn't volunteer to do this, Mr. Franciscus. I was subpoenaed.
And were you subpoenaed when you gave this interview for next week's edition of Inside Look magazine? How much were you paid for this interview, Mrs. Donatello?
Answer the question, please.
I believe it was $10,000.
Buy a lot of new friends for that.
Objection.
Go on.
All I'm saying is when you get that kind of money for your story, you tell them what they want to hear.
Come on, you know you're not supposed to be discussing this.
Oh, Horace, lighten up. Crow is
I
just...
wasn't discussing testimony.
This is testimony.
No, it isn't. All I said was, if somebody sells a story, does it mean they're going to lie? I don't think so.
Wait a minute. Never mind about that lady in there. What I want to know, are they going to give us that kind of money for our stories?
Well, they might, but does it mean you're going to lie?
So what do you say? You're going to concentrate on making money instead of a fair verdict. Is that it?
Did I say that? Did I say anything like that?
Hello. Can we please just chill out so we can get out of here? Thank you.
We had all those police, bank guys, and, you know, the Fresnick experts. You know, being a doorman doesn't give you much expertise.
Is that what you are? Doesn't that get boring?
Well, it's a job, you know.
Drive me crazy.
My wife's begun hearing intruders. We hadn't been apart for 10 years.
Miss Bell, you can make your call now.
Pardon me. Really? You did all 8? That is so wonderful, sweetheart. Yeah. Well, listen, we'll think of something really special to do when I get back, okay? Oh, we did? Marine Park? Did you wear your life jacket? No. No, I can't. This is something I just have to do. I'll call you every day. You take good care of Daddy for me? Okay, well, if you have to go. Hey, Kath. I love you.
Carlisle, when you started your relationship with Gregory Tolan, did you know that he was married?
Yes, I did.
But you continued the relationship anyway?
It was mutual. If he'd been happily married, I don't imagine that would have happened.
Did you ever discuss marriage with Gregory Tolan?
Oh, yes. He...
Your Honor, we're getting into a delicate area here.
Did she have the conversations? There's nothing improper about that.
Counsel knows what I'm talking about. We have to discuss this.
Is there an objection? I don't hear any grounds.
How about probative, inflammatory, hearsay? You want an objection? I can give you a dozen.
All right, all right. Bailiff, we'll take a 10-minute recess.
This stuff gets me. I mean, what's going on that's so secret?
Honey, if he's talking to his girlfriend about getting married, then you got to believe that he's talking to his wife about getting a divorce.
You're trying to suggest that the man wanted to get out of the marriage. Unless I misunderstood your opening statement, aren't you alleging that's why she killed him?
Exactly, which is why I need...
Which is why you can't permit it, Your Honor. And we can hardly cross-examine the deceased on whether these conversations took place or not, can we?
Your client should have thought of that before she killed him.
Tell you, man, Franciscus is going to win this round.
No way. That lady lawyer isn't going to let him get away with nothing.
I bet you $50. First question back ain't about marriage.
You are on, huh? What?
Guess.
Miss Carlisle, I'm going to take you back to the night of the murders. In your own words, please tell us what happened.
Well, Greg had already gone to bed. I was just coming out of the bathroom when the doorbell rang. I answered the door, and it was his wife.
The defendant?
Yes, the defendant. Wynn Atwood.
Did you know her?
I knew who she was. We'd never met.
Please continue.
She came in. I didn't even get a chance to say anything. Greg called. She pushed past me and headed for the bedroom. I ran after her. I told her to leave. She didn't stop. She got to the bedroom door, and I was right in back of her. I never even saw her take out the gun. Maybe she had it in her hand the whole time. I don't know.
Are you all right?
I'm fine. Greg was just getting out of bed. I guess because of the commotion. I could see him. I could see his face. He saw her. And he must have seen the gun at the same time. He put his hands up. He tried to duck. But it happened so fast. She shot him in the face.
Did Miss Atwood say anything at the time?
She said, relax. I was going to kill you too. But I won't. And then she went to the phone. And she called the police.
Yeah. Nice lady, huh?
I heard that.
Hey, nobody was talking to you.
I don't care who you're talking to. I don't want to hear it again.
Look, just because you got a problem don't mean you can jump on me for it.
Look, why don't you just both sit down?
We have a long way to go. In time, everyone will get a chance to talk.
You're just pissed because it's so damn clear that your pretty little lady's a stone killer.
And you're just going to take the word of her husband's girlfriend?
All right. That's enough.
All right, everyone out. Go and finish your lunch somewhere else. That was bad. Very bad. She was mighty convincing with the jury about your husband wanting out of the marriage.
What do you expect her to say? Of course she's going to say something like that.
Now you listen to me very carefully. I'm not going to ask you anything now. But once you take the stand, I will. And I hope to hell your answer will let the jury know that if your husband ever talked to that woman about marriage, he was lying. He didn't want the divorce. You did. Now, is that clear?
Yes.
You're an attorney, specializing in the field of divorce. Is that so, Mr. Otis?
Yes, I am.
May I approach? This is Defense 14 for identification, Your Honor. Do you recognize this volume?
It's my appointment calendar.
Directing your attention to the afternoon of August the 11th. Could you tell us what your 2 o'clock appointment was?
I had an appointment with Win Atwood.
And did Ms. Atwood keep that appointment?
Yes, she did.
No further questions? Your witness?
Mr. Otis, when you saw the defendant, did she ask you what a divorce settlement would cost her?
Your Honor, I respectfully decline to answer that question on the grounds of attorney-client privilege.
Your Honor.
I was very careful not to breach that privilege, Your Honor.
Mr. Franciscus, he is your witness.
Only to the fact that she consulted an attorney. If the state thinks she didn't, they can cross-examine on that.
Don't be absurd. We move to strike all this man's testimony.
For once, I'm inclined to agree with you, Miss Boston. For technical reasons, you are not to concern yourselves with or speculate about the testimony of Mr. Otis, which has been stricken from the record.
There are many forms of abuse. I don't believe that physical abuse is either the most prevalent or the most destructive.
Did you, in your professional capacity, examine Win Atwood?
I conducted numerous therapeutic interviews over the last 6 months at the county jail. I also administered a battery of tests.
And did you reach a conclusion?
A diagnosis, yes. Ms. Atwood is unmistakably a victim of severe and chronic abuse.
And would this abuse she experienced have affected her ability to form rational judgments and to make premeditated decisions?
Yes, completely. This woman was so weakened, she couldn't plan anything, let alone make any judgment that we would call rational. In moments of stress, she would be in a state of automatism, like a sleepwalker. Dr. Susan Trueblood, who's the chief theorist in the field, has pointed out that survivors of wife abuse closely resemble psychologically survivors of prison camps.
Dr. Quintero, what is your fee to testify today for the defense?
My standard fee, $2,500 a day.
And on how many occasions have you testified in a court of law on issues of psychological abuse?
Maybe 20 times.
Always for the defense?
Well, that's because...
Please, answer the question, Doctor.
Yes, for the defense.
The defendant looks very together, wouldn't you say?
I don't think that I would use those words, but yes, she puts up a good front.
Dr. Quintero, this front included hosting a television show in front of millions of people every day. Wouldn't you say that it's hard to believe that a woman who could do that had lost a sense of herself?
It's been playing to full houses since it first opened. People have been lining up this morning since 6 o'clock for a chance to get into the courtroom today. It's the hottest show in town by a long shot.
On the Bible and swear.
That's right, Bob. It's a huge risk to put your client on the stand, even when your client is Wynn Atwood. But Freddie Franciscus doesn't have any choice. To beat the murder charge, he has to get the jury to see it from her point of view. Right now, that looks tough. But who knows, Bob? She may have some deep, dark secrets to reveal.
This better be good, ladies. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Would you say you were happily married?
In the beginning, we were in love.
And what happened to change that?
My career took off. His floundered. He was an architect, but he couldn't make it work. He had to close his firm. My show got an Emmy. He started making jokes about being Mr. Atwood. And then I found out he was having an affair.
Well, how did you find out?
I saw him out with a girl. At first, he denied everything, even that he was there. And then, he just blew up. It was like an eruption. He screamed at me for hours about the show and our sex life.
And then what?
He said that I was frigid and that I had been from the start. And that he'd been holding his feelings in forever. And then he threw me down on the bed and we had sex.
Did you consent to this?
He was my husband. I suppose I would have. He was very, very upset.
You did consent to it?
I wasn't asked.
After this incident, did relations with your husband change?
Please, you must answer for the record.
Yes.
In what way?
It was like that from then on, all the time. I had to go away. We did the show from London for a month. One night I called home, and a woman answered the phone.
What time's this?
Here it was about 2 in the morning.
At 2 in the morning, a woman answered the telephone in your house?
In the bedroom. It was a private number. There's no extension on that line. She put Greg on the phone. He was laughing.
Laughing?
I said he had to stop seeing other women and that we should see a marriage counselor.
What was his reaction to that?
He locked me in the bedroom and he made me call the studio and say I was sick. He took out the phone. He kept me there for a week. He brought other women to the house and he made me watch while they had sex. And then he made me have sex with them together. If my mother called, or my sister, he'd stand over me until I hung up the phone. And then he'd yell at me about them. He said I was too close to my family, that I couldn't have anything to do with them, that they disturb me too much.
And did you obey him?
Yes. Eventually, I lost all contact with them. And I became quite alone.
And you never considered a divorce?
Yes, I did. By then, I just wanted to get away. I went to see a lawyer.
Were you able to discuss this with your husband?
Yes. I got up my courage and I told him I wanted a divorce.
And what did he say?
He didn't say anything. He left. And when he came back, he had a gun. I never brought it up again.
So you were no longer having sexual relations?
Not often. He moved out of the bedroom. He was sleeping in the guest room when he was at home. But sometimes I'd wake up and he'd be on top of me. We'd have sex. And when he was finished, he'd tell me how much better Jane Carlisle was than me. And how could I expect a woman my age to make him feel anything?
And then what would happen?
And then he'd go into one of his all-night rages. Except now it was changing. He started saying he couldn't fight off the urge to kill me. He began telling me that we couldn't go on like this, that it wasn't a stable situation. That's what he said, a stable situation.
And what did you take that to mean?
That he was going to kill me. And one night, I couldn't stand being afraid anymore.
So you knew where you were going?
Yes, I found out where she lived.
So it's true. You went there with the intention to kill your husband?
No, not at all.
Well, why else would you bring a loaded gun?
I don't know,
You just went there with it on a whim?
I didn't think. I hadn't slept for a week. I remember I went to my closet and I got the gun out.
To use it. Isn't that true?
I probably felt that if I got the gun, it would make him understand that I meant it. That he had to let me go, that this could not go on. That it had to stop.
Or you would stop it by killing him?
No, I never wanted to kill him. It just happened.
It just happened?
Yes. I got to the door, and she opened the door. And I was shaking. It was as if I was outside my body watching it, or more like my body was moving without me. I followed his voice, and then I saw him. He was in her bed. And he was very surprised. And he was laughing. And then I heard this explosion.
You want to take a break, Miss Atwood?
No, I'm sorry. The gun went off, and he was dead.
If you need anything, have your foreman put it in writing. Someone will be just outside the door for as long as it takes.
it's okay if I sit here, right? I mean, there's no particular order.
Sit down.
Who is our foreman?
Foreperson. The judge said we're supposed to elect someone.
Oh, who wants to bother with that? Let's just make it the dude in the #1 chair. Yeah, that's you, pal. Your notes are gonna come in handy.
That's not how you elect someone.
All right, so I nominate Carl there. What's his name in the first chair?
I second that.
This is ridiculous. This is something we should talk about.
Oh, so you can elect some lady that was crying in there when she was on the stand? No way.
This isn't about men against women.
I think Beryl has a point.
I think Alice should be foreperson.
Or Beryl. Are you kidding? She had her mind made up before this thing even started.
I don't see what gives you the right.
Mr. Ramos, that's uncalled for.
All right, man, I'm sorry.
To her.
Yeah, right, I'm sorry.
I think we're going to have enough to argue about. Why don't we just let Mr. Weber be foreman? I mean, he's in the first chair, and then it won't be a victory for anyone. I won't fight it, but if he can't, let's just cross that bridge if we get to it. Come on, let's all sit down. Oh, I don't know why I'm saying this. Sorry, Mr. Weber, you're the foreperson. Carry on.
Right. Well, that's a good idea. Let's do what Mrs. Bell says, and everybody, sit down.
It is imperative that we follow the judge's instructions. Therefore, not guilty is not an option. Since the defendant admitted to the shooting, we have to find her guilty of something.
You better believe it.
I think we should be orderly, Carl, and I suggest that if someone has something to say, they should raise their hands.
Oh, that's a good idea, and I think we should do that. All right. According to the judge's instructions, then, our choices would be between first-degree murder, second-degree murder, and voluntary manslaughter.
Manslaughter? That's like nothing. She'd probably get off with time served.
Excuse me,
Yeah?
Look, she's been in the joint almost a year, right? They give her 2 years, you take off the good time in a month or two. She's gonna walk right out of there.
Look, what he's saying is...
Wait a minute. According to the judge, we are not supposed to consider the sentence.
Hey, come on, that's what this is all about. Either the lady does some time or she walks. Okay, they didn't go for lethal injection. That's the only question there is here. No, that's it. That's it. That's all you're
No, he said now raising our hands would be the thing. I think the secret ballot, we should abandon that. It's a waste of paper. Everybody's going to have to really say what they think at some point. We might as well start that right now. I think we'll go around the table. Anyone got a problem with that? Mrs. Bell, would you be good enough to start us off?
Well, I don't think it was first-degree murder because I don't think that the state proved that she premeditated her intent to kill him.
And what'd she bring the gun for then? To trim the hedges?
Mr. Ramos.
I think she was pushed beyond a breaking point, and by the night of the shooting, she wasn't capable of forming any meaningful intent. So I would say it's manslaughter.
That's exactly the point. Manslaughter.
Not guilty.
What? What is this?
No, baby. Not guilty is not an option. We covered that already.
We don't have to obey the judge's instructions. We can follow our conscience.
That's not true. We took an oath according to the evidence and the instructions of the court.
It also said a true and just verdict. Those might not be the same.
And who decides that? Look, I'm sorry, I have to agree with Horace. We got to do what the judge said.
A jury can do whatever it wants. It's called jury nullification.
Oh, she's a lawyer.
I'm not a lawyer.
You sure as hell ain't no judge.
Not even a judge can overturn our verdict. Come on, why do you think they gave us that power?
And what, we're gonna say that she didn't do nothing?
Mr. Ramos.
Are you saying that we can say that she didn't do nothing?
I'm just pointing out that the judge does not tell us everything. I don't think that we should be talking about this now.
Why not?
Because we may get to a point where it never even matters. Let's just see where we stand first.
Exactly. Let's get back to the vote.
Oh, wait, Mr. Chu.
Well, I kinda think what Alice said before was right, so manslaughter.
That's right, manslaughter. There was no intent. Not like somebody planning something.
All right, well, I'm the foreman. I'm going to abstain. Plus, I have made up my mind. Mr. Lowe?
Well, I just hope this doesn't come down to a boy-girl thing because, well, if it does, then I kind of agree with the women. Manslaughter.
Manslaughter.
What, are we all crazy? She didn't plan nothing, and she put one right between his eyes. It's murder one. No two ways.
I don't know if things are as simple as Raphael says. Maybe it's second-degree murder.
Second degree.
How could it be second degree? I'm sure it was premeditated. I don't know. I'm just not comfortable with first. But it is murder. That's what I'm saying.
Right. So second.
Yeah.
I think it's a manslaughter.
Sorry?
I think it's a manslaughter.
Well, I guess it's my time. Like Carl, I'm not decided. I am fairly certain that it's not murder one.
Oh, God, man, these ladies are getting
I
to
let
your
you
head.
talk. But I'm pretty certain that it could be murder, too. But if I had to vote right now, I couldn't vote for manslaughter.
So where does that leave us?
I'll call that second. We have 1 for outright acquittal, 7 for manslaughter, 1 for first degree, 2 for second, and 1 undecided.
So what do we do now, Mr. Weber?
You have to try to understand the issue.
This isn't an issue. It's a murder.
That's the whole point. It isn't. You have to understand.
No, we don't have to understand nothing.
The only thing we have to understand are the facts.
I know it must be hard for you, but if you put yourself in her shoes...
Oh, nobody's shopping for shoes here.
That's pretty cool, man. Shopping for shoes.
Don't be so stupid! Right. Oh, it's all right. No. It's not all right. You're so smug and superior. We have to at least make an effort to understand her state of mind.
Hey, I don't give a damn about her state of mind.
The only thing we're supposed to understand are the facts.
That's a sort of myopic idiocy I expect from him. But you could show a little more initiative.
Excuse me, Beryl. Can I talk to you over here for a minute? You know, when you talk to them like that, you only make them dig their heels in deeper.
They're already dug in over their heads.
Are you gonna change it? Do you really think that you can get through to Raphael by talking to him like that?
He'll come around when Horace and Nolan do. You know what tough guys are like.
Is that all right, them over there talking by themselves like that?
I think maybe we should have a smoking policy.
In a way, she's right. And the way the judge explained the difference in the charges is in her frame of mind.
Oh, man, don't you start that, too.
I don't agree with him. That's not what I'm saying. But we have to examine what she was thinking.
That's exactly what the defense wants you to do. They want you to forget the facts.
Hey, you know what? They all think they're abused. Now, if we let this one get away with it, they're all gonna have guns. Is that what you want?
Is that what this is about? Keeping our women in line?
Isn't it? We're just wasting time, people. She went in there, she killed him, and that's murder.
Killing isn't necessarily murder.
Don't win you a Nobel Peace Prize. There, okay. Beryl takes that coffee pot, flings it, hits me in the head. I die. That's murder.
Not if you've provoked her so badly it drives her nuts.
And everyone else.
Look, she can't stand it anymore. She picks up the coffee pot, she hits you over the head, and it accidentally kills you. That's manslaughter.
She should just make him drink it. That would do it.
Listen, Nolan. Like this morning at breakfast, she decided that first chance she got, she was gonna beat you to death with a coffee pot. Don't you get it? That's what state of mind means.
Okay, but you can't ever know that. What she meant to do.
But it sounds as though you agree that her state of mind is important.
Yeah.
Oh, great, now you.
All right, we want to know what her state of mind was, right? So let's reconstruct what happened from her point of view.
And what? We're gonna get in touch with her inner feelings?
We should get the floor plans, the gun, everything.
Okay, it's the night of the crime. She's getting ready for bed.
She just had a shower, so she's coming out of the bathroom.
I'm trying not to think about him, okay, about where he is.
Oh, man, this is so lame.
No, it's not. Shut up.
I'm thinking I'm all alone. She looks in the closet. She's got this nice nightgown. Only what if he comes home and sees her in it? That could set him off. She's thinking how he makes her hate being pretty.
You're making this all up. It's got nothing to do with it.
Yes, it does. Keep going.
And then she suddenly knows. She just can't take it anymore. She's just has to make him understand that it has to stop. She goes to his room and gets the gun.
In her closet.
I'm in a sort of daze. I don't
I was
really know what
just
I'm
saying
feeling.
that the gun was in her closet.
I don't remember that.
You know, I don't think the side conversations are appropriate. I think if somebody has something to say, they should say it so all of us can hear. Okay, thank you.
Actually, I think that Yvonne has something to say.
She said the gun was in her closet. I remember that because I wondered then why his gun was in her closet.
Maybe because he put it in there. What difference does it make?
I don't know.
All right, then let's move on, okay? She gets...
Wait a minute. This is bothering me, too.
Hey, you know what? Maybe she said the closet. Like, so I got it from the closet.
Yeah, I think that clears it up.
No. I remember what she said. She said my closet.
Why else would you bring a loaded gun? Answer, I don't know. I just question. You went there with it on a whim? Answer, I didn't think. I hadn't slept for a week. I remember I went to my closet and I got the gun out.
I don't understand any of this. Her closet, his closet. What difference does it make?
I think we should get back to going through it. Her state of mind.
Yeah, you would. Look, what I want to know is, are we supposed to talk about this closet crap
You know
or
what?
something?
It is not necessary to insult everyone, okay? It just so happens that Yvonne was right, and you was wrong.
Hey, I wasn't insulting nobody. I just said it was a stupid point.
No, you're a stupid man. I'm sick and tired of him pushing everyone around.
Nobody's pushing anybody around, except for maybe this one with her. He makes me hate myself for being pretty.
Oh, right, Mr. Fact. Only you didn't have your facts.
How come you never do anything?
What?
You're the foreman. You just sit there, you let them fight like that?
What am I supposed to do? It's not my job.
You're not even trying. You just sit there, you write all the time. What the hell is this?
Hey, no, Fletcher, come on, give that back to him. Come on.
Ann! No. Except that one with her make me hate pretty. B. Oh, Mr. Fact didn't have his facts right.
I'm allowed to take notes.
Yvonne, heavily accented English. Old-fashioned hairdo.
You're allowed to take notes. If you're on a jury, you can take notes.
It's not about the trial, is it?
What are you doing?
What do you mean, what am I doing?
What, are you getting your stuff together for the big bestseller? Is that it?
Don't you start picking on me.
Is that what you are doing?
There's not one person in this room who hasn't thought the same thing as me, and that is the truth. You want my book here? See where it gets you.
Mr. Weber, I've had the opportunity to examine your notebook, and I'd like you to explain the purpose of these notes.
Purpose? I thought they would help me.
Help you in reaching a verdict? May I remind you, Mr. Weber, that you could face perjury charges if you knowingly give false answers to this court?
I know her. All it is like I was led to believe that if I could take notes. Look, I've never been involved in anything like this before. This is an opportunity. Everybody knows the people who get involved in big cases, they become famous. So why not me? I wasn't going to do anything that would have... I don't know. I'm sorry, Your Honor. I'd like to stay.
You really blew it, man. You know that?
It was like he was spying on us, okay?
Hey, what did you get for us, huh? They're gonna throw us off, right?
Excuse me. May I? Thanks.
God, people act weird. Get a bunch of strangers scooped up together.
You're doing great. Look how you confronted Carl.
Oh, yeah, that. But I can't. I mean, you think it all through, you know, and you're smart. But sometimes I just can't follow it all.
You have as much right to your thoughts as anyone else in that room.
What thoughts? I'm just confused.
We're all confused. Don't sell yourself short.
Yeah, I know. But Beryl, you know, she's got it all straight in her head, and you can analyze these things. Evelyn Harris and all the others. I can't do that kind of analyzation.
You're a good and decent man. That's what being on a jury is about.
Okay. Looks like you got a new foreman. Maybe now we can get this thing settled. I'm Larry Milan. I like to run a pretty tight ship, and the first thing I think we got to do is get ourselves up to speed.
I'm not certain you're the foreman, Mr. Milan.
Well, that's what old Carl was, and I'm his replacement.
We made a mistake before. We're not going to make it again. I nominate Alice Bell.
Oh, come on. There is only one person in this room who has not pissed everybody else off at some time or another. Come on, let's see those hands. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I just want to say one thing, and I'll shut up. All of you have talked a lot about this, so you all know where you stand. I just want to tell you where I stand. I'm married, I have 2 kids, and on occasion I have cheated on my wife. And if it's okay to shoot a man for that, then I'm in a hell of a lot of trouble. Anyone else have any confessions they want to make?
I don't have a confession, but I do have a question. And since you seem to have some experience with infidelity, I guess you're the one I should ask.
Okay, fire away.
Have you ever had a really big fight with your wife?
Pope Catholic?
You ever moved into a spare room?
Yeah, I have been known to do that on occasion. Where's this going, Counselor?
Do you take your things?
Let me explain something to you, Madam Foreman. When you move out of your wife's bedroom, it's a big deal. I mean, it's very dramatic. You are making a point. So believe me, after you go through an act like that, you don't want to come crawling back in the morning looking for your socks. Yeah, damn right you take your stuff.
Would you take your gun? The gun that you've threatened her with. Would you leave it in the closet?
No. No, of course not. No way.
All right. She said she was confused. Maybe she went into his room. What difference does it make?
It's possible, but she seemed pretty clear about the closet even when she was confused.
I don't understand. I mean, didn't you just say that you couldn't have the gun in her closet?
Uh-huh. When he moved out of their room, he would have taken his gun.
You're saying he wouldn't have left his gun in the closet, but he did leave it in the closet. That doesn't make any sense.
Look, Nolan, he would have taken his gun when he moved out of the room, right? But now we know that he didn't take his gun, so what do you think that means? That must mean one out of two things. Either he never moved out of the room, or it wasn't his gun.
So then all that stuff about him bringing a gun home and threatening her with it, that isn't true.
And it's possible that Larry here's theories on male behavior aren't binding on everyone.
Yeah, right. It could be he threatened to kill her with a gun and then left it for her in the closet.
Now, look, it could be that this man was just playing games with her head, right? I mean, that's what she said, and if that's right, then what happened couldn't be helped.
That's what I keep telling you.
Yes, Beryl, but that is only one. Could be. It could also be that this woman just wanted out of a lousy marriage, and in no way was she gonna pay him no alimony.
Excuse me. Yes, Yvonne?
I had an uncle back home. Everybody said he ran around on his wife. But I lived with them and I knew the man was a saint.
Oh, what is this? We're not talking about another country. There was a trial in this country. We're the jury.
The judge said we could draw on our own personal experiences.
What experience? Some saint in the old country? I don't want to hear about it.
He was a good man. That's all what I am saying. People say things about someone, but it doesn't make it true.
That doesn't mean anything. You know, why don't we all just agree to shut up if we don't have anything to say that's got something to do with what's going on here?
Look at that. What the hell is the matter with you, treating her like that?
Oh, Mr. Tact talking.
It's not the same thing.
Why isn't it?
Because I don't have to be tactful. I'm not trying to convince anyone of anything.
Excuse me? Are you saying that we all have to cater to yourself?
That's what it comes down to, lady. I'm even more solid for murder one than I was before. So you girls are gonna have to convince me, or we're gonna be here one damn long time.
Well, maybe you're gonna have to convince us girls.
If I wanted to, but I don't. It's not my thing.
That is the most typical, arrogant, infuriating...
Do shoot him?
I wonder how we'd vote on that one.
It's not funny.
I'm not sure she could hit him anyway.
What are you talking about?
I mean, Win Atwood. We're trying to get into her state of mind, right? Well, she said she was upset and shaking, but she hit him right below the eye with only one shot.
Is that so hard?
It ain't easy. You want to hit a bullseye, your arm's got to be fully extended and steady. It could take me a whole clip.
You gotta be cool, calm, and collected.
That's a very good point, Fletcher.
No, it's not. It's irrelevant. All she had to do is point and shoot.
Oh, could you do it?
She was only 15 feet away.
So do it. Here. Pick up the gun. Shoot me.
What?
Come on, it's not loaded.
Wait a minute, I don't
Just
think
point it at me. You don't have to touch the trigger.
Hey,
put it down. Stop. You think it's so easy. Come on, put your money where your damn mouth is, huh?
You idiot.
All right, here we go. I'm in the bed. You come in the room. I see you. I put up my hands. You shoot. Come on, go for it.
This is stupid.
Come on, do it! Kill me! Okay. So you shot the lamp. You shot my knee. You shot my girlfriend's pussycat. But you missed my head.
You okay?
Yes.
So to kill him in one shot She had to know what she was doing.
It's like I said before. She's a stone killer.
No. Not necessarily. Dr. Quintero said she was in a state of automatism. And Wynn herself said she left her body. You know, it's like a car accident. And things happen in slow motion. And everything's very clear and calm.
Murder. First degree.
Miss Edgewood is not telling us the truth.
Is that first degree?
Murder. First degree.
You know where I stand?
I don't think anything's changed. I'm still with manslaughter.
I think it's first degree.
Well, before I was convinced she was abused, but now I'm not so sure. I'd have to say I'm leaning towards murder.
There's definitely a hole in that woman's story. I don't think I could vote for manslaughter now.
I don't know. Maybe Alice is right.
Oh, can't you think for yourself?
I don't believe her story anymore. That's for me, for myself. Okay?
Nothing's changed for me.
Same with me. Manslaughter.
Murder 1.
Excuse me. Hey.
It can get pretty rough in there, can it?
At least with Ralph, I know where I stand.
It's not personal. We're all just trying to do the right thing.
You know something? When a woman gets messed over, everybody turns on her, the women first.
Is that what you think is going on in there?
Look, I'm not saying she has a right to kill anyone. I'm saying when a woman is pushed far enough, sometimes she breaks.
And we can't judge people who've suffered like that the way that we judge people who haven't.
That's right, yeah.
But what if she hasn't? What if she's lying, Beryl? And then she's cheating every single woman who is abused.
No, okay. Maybe she didn't tell the whole truth about the gun. Or maybe she exaggerated a few other things. But if she shot the man, you know he gave her good reason. Now, maybe you're prepared to forget that, but I am not.
Pitter patter, let's get at her.
Okay, let me ask you guys a question. How can you just ignore what he did to her?
Oh, man, here we go again.
Because you don't know if it's true.
How do you know it isn't?
Well, how do you ever know for sure? If I had to guess, I'm sorry.
I'm not talking about guesses. I'm talking about what you know beyond a reasonable doubt.
Reasonable doubt. Do you really believe that woman proved that she was so abused?
She doesn't have to prove a thing. The burden of proof is on the state.
She's right. The judge was very clear on that.
Oh, that's a bunch of garbage. The burden of proof is garbage? No, I mean, they already proved that she offed him. Huh? She even said so. Now she wants to come to us and say, oh, I had a reason. Well, she's damn well got to prove that.
I think we all have to decide whether the abuse really happened. Because if she's lying, then she intended to kill him and it's murder.
That's right.
But if she was so traumatized by him that she didn't know what she was doing when she shot him, then it's manslaughter.
So whose side are you on?
Not on anybody's side.
Hey, just lay off her. She's just doing what we're supposed to do.
So who are you now, her big protector or something?
What's that supposed to mean?
Oh, come on, guys. Let's not get into this.
You act like you don't even care whether she was abused or not.
Well, I don't.
Oh, please.
All I know is that she planned the whole thing out like ice.
You can't know that. You can't know whether she intended to kill him.
No, I don't have to know it. Not like if I saw it. Come on, the judge, he had a word for it. You know, it's like when you see that the sidewalk's wet, but you didn't actually see it raining.
Infer.
That's it, all right. So here we go. She gets herself a piece, right? I infer she's got a mind to shoot him. She puts it in her pocket. I infer she's gonna shoot him now. She gets in her car, she drives over to where this other lady lives. I infer she's gonna shoot him right now. She goes in the bedroom. She shoots him, bang, right between the eyes. I infer premeditation. And that's murder one.
But why? If she wasn't abused, why did she do it? Why would a woman who had what she had risk everything?
She didn't want to give him a divorce.
Oh, she'd rather risk going to prison? I mean, think about it. So she had to give him half her money. Big deal. What is that? Compared to having your life destroyed?
Anyway, she went to a divorce lawyer.
No, Naomi. We're not allowed to consider that testimony.
Horace is right.
Judge said so.
We have to ignore that testimony.
How can you pretend you don't know something?
It's kind of weird. I mean, how can a woman like that kill her husband?
There is only one reason. Because he drove her crazy with terror till she...
If she was so abused, why didn't Mr. Franciscus have any of her family or a friend testify that they knew something about it?
Look, didn't you listen to Dr. Quintero? When you are abused like that, you don't talk to anyone. You're isolated because you're so ashamed.
You can kind of see it any way you want. It's really confusing.
I had a friend. She was beaten up a lot by her boyfriend, and I didn't know, but I knew, you know?
You see, that's what I'm talking about right there. I don't care how isolated you are. Somebody has got to know something.
Yeah, but what you don't know is the secret hell she...
No, we don't. But listen, this is where I'm coming from, okay? People have got to agree that we are not going to kill each other. You know what I'm saying? It's just basic. It is basic to being a human being. Am I right? So if I go to somebody now and I say, hey, I just killed a guy, but you can't blame me because I was so messed up in my head that I was no longer a functioning person, well, honey, then I have got to show that. You know what I'm saying? I have got to prove it, honey, because otherwise, he got pain, she got pain. Pretty soon we all be shooting and killing each other because, baby, everybody got pain.
Excuse me. I'm changing my verdict to first-degree murder.
There's just the two of them left. Burl and the one with the knitting. Why don't we zero in on the one with the knitting?
No.
Hey, man, I'm just trying to get us out of here.
This isn't an assault. It's a reasonable discussion.
Excuse me, gentlemen. If you care to join us, we could get started.
Yesterday, Mr. Ramos said he was in the minority and the rest of us had to convince him. Things have moved around a lot since then. I think Beryl and I should just sit here and listen to what the rest of you have to say.
Okay, I'll take a crack at it. The gun in her closet, not his gun. The fact she was in control, nailed him with one shot. The mistress testified Atwood said she was going to kill her, too.
I can't trust her word.
Okay. Okay, when Atwood testified, she implied that her husband was sleeping with all kinds of women. But when the mistress testified, she said that their relationship had been going on for like more than 3 years.
He has a mistress for 3 years, and you make it sound like it's something good he did.
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is they didn't cross-examine her. They didn't ask her about other women.
How would she know?
Believe me, when you cheat on your mistress, she knows. Just like your wife.
But the point is, if the defense didn't ask her, it's because they didn't want us to hear the answer. So, the simple fact is, he may not have been faithful to his wife, but he was not, as they say, sleeping around.
Why are you protecting that man's reputation? He was in that tramp's apartment when he was shot. He was a useless, cheating, deceiving...
Hey, what is it with you? Your husband cheated on you or something? What's your problem?
Her husband's dead.
Oh, jeez. Hey, I'm sorry. I didn't mean... I didn't know. Hey, look, I'm sorry, okay?
The way you talk to women, you should be ashamed. I've been married for 27 years, and it's wrong. Wrong.
We were married 41 years. I was 16 years old when I met him. I never knew another man. He was a good husband, a good provider. We tried to have children, but it didn't work, so we settled into that. Just George and me. That was all we needed. Really. In 41 years, he never once gave me cause to doubt it.
I'm just always shooting off my mouth, you know. I didn't mean nothing.
A year and a half ago, he had a stroke. It was very bad. All he could do was lie there and look into my eyes. And thank God he had another and he was gone. But I still had that to hold on to. I still had those 41 years. Mr. Ramos. You know when I found out he was running around? You want to know when? At his funeral. She came to his funeral, that woman. Because she loved him, she said. Because he loved her, she said. She hid it all these years and she didn't want to hide it anymore. As if she had some rights here. What right? What right did she have to take away those 41 years? And what could I do to him? He was dead. Yeah. It's murder. God help me, it's what I would have done. But it's still murder.
Doesn't it bother you that she lied about the gun?
Some, but she was telling the truth about the relationship.
None of her friends knew anything about it.
I told you, when people are treated like that, they don't want anyone to know.
Beryl, you've been had. You just don't want to hear it.
No, you've been had. All of you. Men can do whatever they want, and we're supposed to take it. Some drunken slob beats his wife to death. That's sudden anger, whatever the lawyers call it. But when she can't stand it anymore, crouching in a corner, terrified, waiting, That makes what she does premeditated. And she goes to jail for the rest of her life. I am sick of it. And this is my chance to put it right.
This isn't a political trial.
Oh, God, of course it is.
And what's the political message you're trying to send?
You can only push a woman so far. How's that?
Fine. I can see that. If her story's true.
It is. And if you don't buy that, then we go into that court and we tell the judge we are a hung jury.
It's fine. Bitch don't listen to anything anyway. Hey, bailiff!
Sit down and watch your mouth.
You just remember, from the very beginning, I've been where you people are just getting to.
Yes, but for all the wrong reasons. We have all been sitting here struggling to find the truth while you had your mind made up from the start. And even though we've come to the same verdict as you, does not make your behavior acceptable. It's all right. We're fine. I want to know something, Beryl. Is this a crusade with you? Are you sticking with not guilty because some women are abused?
No, because she was.
And if she wasn't? I just want to know where we stand.
If she was making it up, then it is murder.
Okay.
Look, I'm sorry for making you all go through this. But what you don't seem to get is what women experience. It is like being in a concentration camp. Just like that psychologist said, the one Dr. Quintero quoted.
Dr. Susan Trueblood.
And I don't understand why you can't see that.
How did you remember that? Her name?
She was on TV. She's like this huge woman. She was on Oprah, Wynn Atwood, on Donahue, I think.
The woman whose theories Quintero's work is based on was on the Wynn Atwood show?
About a year ago. And Donahue before he was canceled.
What did she say on Wynn Atwood?
Well, it was about the tragedy of wife abuse. One woman ran over her husband. And Dr. Trueblood said, I don't know, whatever Dr. Quintero said, you know, like self-esteem and all that sleepwalking stuff, all of that. That's where I heard it.
She talked to her, Beryl. She would have read her books, done the research.
She would have known exactly what to say.
Maybe when she did that show, it was a chance to understand more about what she was going through.
Beryl, if she could understand, that meant she was rational. She wasn't lost in despair. She had alternatives. I think you know that.
I can't betray every woman.
You're not. This is one very specific woman who lied.
Has the jury reached a verdict?
Yes, Your Honor, we have.
As to the charge of murder in the first degree, how say you?
We find the defendant guilty as charged.
Alice Bell, is this your verdict?
Yes, it is.
Fletcher Lowe, is this your verdict?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Naomi Budden, is this your verdict?
Yes.
Rafael Ramos, is this your verdict?
Yeah. Yes.
Noland James, is this your verdict?
That's my verdict.
Yvonne Mihalik, is this your verdict?
Yes.
Horace Stefanos, is this your verdict?
Yes, it is. First-degree murder. Guilty.
Lawrence Milan, is this your verdict?
Murder, first degree. Yes.
Gladys McKenzie, is this your verdict?
Yes, it is.
Beryl Granger, is this your verdict?
Yes.
Stephanie True, is this your verdict?
That's right. Yeah.
Evelyn Harris, is this your verdict?
First degree murder. Yes.
Well, it was totally crazy. Everybody was fighting and stuff. And some people had weird attitudes, you know? Like,
something about the trial. Anything to go on.
weird attitudes.
Tell you one thing. If it wasn't for me, they were gonna let her go free. But listen, you want to hear the rest of the story, you know, you have to call me.
It was hard. It was hard, you know. I felt for her, but yeah, it was hard.
Hey, Alice. Hey. Maybe I'll see you sometime.
Yeah, maybe.